Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. As today we got another episode of reviewing NHL teams so far. As today we're going to be talking about the Florida Panthers, as they have had a new GM come into the squad in Bill Zito, and he is absolutely taking a change for the Florida Panthers, and it might be for the best of this team's future. And I gotta say, I'm pretty damn impressed about this team. But before we get into the video, I'd like to just say, if you are new to the channel, make sure to slap that subscribe button. That'll be very much appreciated. And also slap that like button as well. That will also be very much appreciated, as well, as we are an ever-growing channel. And I'd like to just say thank you guys for all the support, as we just hit 300 subscribers not that long ago. So let's get officially into the Florida Panthers and their really exciting offseason, one of the more underrated off-seasons throughout the entire league. But the problem is no one really cares about the Florida Panthers. Let's get real. But Bill Zito, the new GM, as they departed away from Dale Talent, they hired Joel Quenneville last year, and it hasn't really changed the Florida Panthers very much. Last year was still a really bad year for the team. They had way more expectations, and now this year they've really taken a big change of the roster, picking up Patrick Hornquist, Alexander Weinberg, Vinny Hinostroza, Carter Verhaeghe from the Tampa Bay Lightning. They have really done a big change for this Florida Panthers roster. Not just that, also bringing in Marcus Nutavaro and Radko Gudas, and also getting Michael Matheson's contract off your team. This team has really just taken a deep dive into this team's offseason, and Bill Zito is one of the more busier GMs through the season. Now, Bill Zito was not there during draft day. I'm pretty sure, for the reason why I don't see it here. Maybe he did make a couple deals, but I don't think he was part of the draft. But they did get Anton Lundell first in the first round, which I think Anton Lundell will really be a big player for the future of the Florida Panthers. This is another big Finn guy. Might entice Barkov to stay, and if Barkov does leave, you have another guy that can take Barkov's place, maybe in Anton Lundell, who I think will definitely be a future maybe first-line centerman. He has the potential to do it, and I think I have belief in Lundell to do that for the Florida Panthers. The rest of the draft looks pretty damn good. Justin Sordoff looked pretty damn good. Michael Benning as Matt Benning on the Edmonton Oilers, or used to be on the Edmonton Oilers. But let's get into kind of the signings of the free agency. Actually, let's get into the first piece of this year. As we talked about at the starting, Patrick Hornquist they picked up, and this was a steal of a deal. In my opinion, Michael Matheson definitely wasn't playing to what the Florida Panthers really needed him to do. He was not performing, and Colton Scurvio was kind of the same way. He was a PK guy, and he was a nice defensive forward, but now you pick up another nice scoring piece in Patrick Hornquist, who is definitely steadily declining nowadays. He is getting up there in age, but this brings in some more leadership for the Florida Panthers, even though I don't know what he got totally angry about, the fact that Pittsburgh Penguins really didn't tell him about the deal. I'm not too sure what really happened, but he is off to Florida, which is probably was one of the teams that he was on his 8-team no trade clause. It was definitely a weird story that was just out of absolute nowhere, and Patrick Hornquist wasn't even notified, and then it didn't go through, and then it did. It was a really weird deal, and in this deal was also a steal of a deal, trading Cliff Plu for Marcus Nutavaro. I thought this deal was absolute fantastic. Marcus Nutavaro brings in some more depth into your defense core, especially since the Florida Panthers were 28th in the league in defense, and last year they need to improve upon that, especially with Joel Quenneville. His system is a pretty damn defensive game with a little bit of offense. They definitely didn't bring that to the series against the New York Islanders, who are a pretty defensive team themselves. They got absolute outplayed. Like every single game the Florida Panthers were in, they got outplayed badly, outcoached even at some moments of time. So I think Patrick Hornquist in the lineup, and then Marcus Nutavaro, who brings you more depth, it's great moves by Bill Zito to start off his first year in the NHL as a GM. Then Vinny Jfresh brings in some more offensive power to your team. Didn't do too well in Arizona, but we all know Arizona, they're not a very good team. So maybe he could get back to those 39 points, and that could be a very huge contributor for the Florida Panthers. Carter Vertegi, he's another defensive guy for your team. Weinberg, he has shown promise before. Weinberg has showed promise to be a future first-line centerman, right? He's had breakout years before. He's not been so well, but Joe Quenneville has done that before. He's brought a lot out of a lot of players, and we've seen that on the Chicago Blackhawks, and I think we might be able to see that with what they do with Alexander Weinberg. And I think Weinberg might potentially have a breakout season, but that's dependent on how well the whole as a team plays. And maybe even you have Owen Tippett like it has up here on Cap Friendly playing this year as well. Maybe Owen Tippett jumps in the lineup. This could be another huge contributor for the Florida Panthers. But anyways, Radko Gudas brings in some more toughness. Mackenzie Weegar, that was a really, really nice signing. He's an analytic beast for the Florida Panthers and is a definite guy that you need to keep on the team. The biggest weaknesses so far for the Florida Panthers are Keith Yandel and Anton Strawman. Those were really bad contracts that they got on the team right now, but the fact that they brought in Newt Tavares, the fact that they brought in Gudas, and they brought in a lot of nice depth players for even their offensive core, the Florida Panthers are looking very, very nice. Now, I'm going to give them a B, around a B. I'll give them a B+. Oh, fuck, man, this is a really hard one to kind of come up with a grade for. Because it's the Florida Panthers are such a weird team because they just got a bunch of weird depth players. I'm going to give them a B just because of the fact that they weren't able to bring up the top 6 power that they really needed. They weren't able to keep Hoffman and they weren't able to keep Danov. They're going to be really, really weak down the wing. Streza, will he break out? Weinberg, will he break out, right? Will you have Noel Achari do 20 goals again? Will you have Brent Connolly continue to produce for you? There's a lot of big question marks. Their defensive core for sure improved, and that's no doubt about that. Keeping Weegar on the team and getting Newt Tavares and Gudas, those are some great moves, and especially for not having to pay very much. I'm definitely going to give them a solid B. They didn't keep their wingers in Hoffman and Danov. Now, maybe they will, but right now I think they're in an internal cap. Picking up a Duclair would be a really nice hand to go to Florida right now, but I don't know what's really going to happen. They have $8.3 million in cap space. Either it's an internal cap that they are stuck with right now with all these COVID times, and especially since they weren't really driving in the seats there in Florida, we'll have to see what they really do next. But I'm going to end the video here, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Adios, amigos.